Indie Mogul.
Welcome to this week's Movie Math. Today is going to be a little different. First, I'll go over the weekend box office, and then I'll answer some of the viewer questions you submitted to me at the beginning of the month. Now let's get started. Why does Hollywood make so many horror movies? Because they're money in the bank. Take this weekend's box office victor, The Last Exorcism. The movie cost just $1.8 million to make and opened with $21.3 million. And this bloody success couldn't have come at a better time for Lionsgate, which has seen their Saw horror franchise overshadowed by Paramount's Paranormal Activity. Me thinks this is most definitely not The Last Exorcism, nor the last from German indie filmmaker Daniel Stamm, nor shaky mockumentary filmmaking. Like 3D, this is a style of filmmaking that might be publicly maligned, but is just too damn profitable to go away. Also opening surprisingly strong is Takers, coming in at number 2 with $21 million. In fact, the top two are so close, don't be surprised if number 1 and number 2 switch places come Monday morning. That's more than double the debut of Idris Elba's last Crew of Criminals movie, and certainly gives the rest of the C-level cast reason to celebrate. The rest of the box office was pretty par for the late August course, with Sylvester Stallone and Will Ferrell faring best. But there was some big news with Toy Story 3 passing the 1 billion mark worldwide, an impressive milestone which, based on the comments on my Facebook page, many of you feel the film deserves. In fact, this means that Disney has $2 billion grosses in the same year, the first studio ever to do so. But Avatar is still the reigning champ with $2.7 billion grossed worldwide, with Cameron and company adding another $4 million to their coffers with the release of Avatar Special Edition in theaters this weekend. However, with 3D and IMAX compounding ticket dollars like never before, look for the 1 billion club to get a little bit more crowded over the next couple of years. Now it's time to answer some viewer questions. Hooray! I got a lot of awesome ones from you guys, and I picked 10 to answer here on the show. Cryptic Warfare's question goes first because this whole Q&A episode was his idea. Best sci-fi movie? I'm going to have to go with Star Wars because it redefined the genre, not to mention blockbuster movies. But honorable mention goes to Moon, starring Sam Rockwell and directed by David Bowie's son. That is a very good, underrated movie. I first started reviewing movies on YouTube in September 2007, Jake, with a show called Review. Over the course of that first year, the show did well enough to catch the interest of Next New Networks, who were just starting their Next New Creators program at the time. So, after some discussion, I rebooted the show as Beyond the Trailer, and Next New Networks agreed to distribute it, making me the very first Next New Creator. As with all Next New Creators, NNN assigns their show to the network, aka grouping of shows, they think is the best fit, and since my show is about movies, I was put under the Indie Mogul banner. If you'd like to be a part of the Next New Creators program, go to nextnewnetworks.com to submit your show. As for if I have any other jobs outside of Beyond the Trailer, John, yes I do. I write comic books such as Marvel Heroes, Fraggle Rock, and manga for StarCraft and Warcraft. I've also been doing some hosting for the cable movie channel The 3 from Epix, available on Dish. And the latest news is that I'm the new host of Marvel's weekly news show, The Watcher, which will be debuting in about a month or so over on their YouTube channel. So I hope you all check it out, that is if you don't already watch Marvel's channel. For info on all these projects and more, I hope you'll visit my website, gracerandolph.com. I get this question a lot, Keith, and it would indeed be awesome to go on a nationwide or even worldwide tour with BTT. Unfortunately, such a tour would be quite expensive. So for now, BTT will continue to shoot only in New York City. But if anyone is going to be in the New York City area, message me on Facebook the Wednesday before the Friday you'd like to be on the show, and we'll set it up. I'm sorry you have to go in search of the full trailer, Alex, but truth is, it's illegal for anyone but the studios to air the full trailer without the studio's permission. Thus, I have to show only a clip. Them's the rules. But may I suggest traileraddict.com for all your trailer viewing needs. Tom Chattelbash, a fellow YouTube movie reviewer, turned me onto the website, and it's awesome. They have everything. not so much any specific movies that affected me, Maria, but the act of going to the movies itself. My parents began taking me to see movies at the theater when I was 3 years old, and the fun and excitement of seeing a movie with a bunch of other people, an event if you will, is what really appeals to me about the whole experience. And it's that interest in my fellow moviegoer that led me to start review and then beyond the trailer. Oh, I asked this question myself over on the Indie Mogul message boards and it got a lot of responses. As for me, Alexandra, I'm always cool with admitting I like a movie, but the one I think I'd get the most heat for liking would be Ghost Rider. While most people don't like that movie, I think it's a lot of fun and surprisingly well made. And as many of you know, I'm always partial to a good Nicolas Cage film. By the way, Alexandra's brother, I hear you've been teasing her about quoting the interviews on BTT. Not cool, man, not cool. I think that, as with everything Austin, the cream rises to the top. Hollywood makes hundreds of movies every year, and while everyone remembers the original Star Wars, there were a bunch of movies that came out that year as well that nobody remembers. Also, Hollywood always has and always will make movies for money. It's a business. If the studios don't make a profit, they can't afford to make any more movies. Obviously, they do try to make pretty good movies so audiences don't lose faith in their product. Not every movie appeals to everyone, but they don't have to in order to turn a profit. However, sometimes a movie hits the sweet spot, appealing to the vast majority of audiences and therefore also making a lot of money. Recent examples are Avatar, Inception, How to Train Your Dragon, and Toy Story 3. Those are the movies that are remembered both by us and the studios that profited off of them. When I was at Tisch James, I was an undergraduate film major and I concentrated most of my studies on directing, producing, screenwriting, and acting. And I did indeed make some short films. My junior year thesis film, Case Study, won the Brett Ratner Production Award, and I used the money I won to help make my senior thesis film. That film, Death and Other Escapes, starred Orson Bean, Allie Mills from The Wonder Years, and myself. It was produced and written by a good friend of mine, Dar Sanders. However, it was half an hour long, and what my teachers neglected to tell me is that's too long for film festivals. Thanks, Tish. So if anyone's making a short film they intend to enter in the festival circuit, keep it under 15 minutes. Well, Jack, I think what's really important is that one has a knowledge of how to make movies and how the business works. And of course, the best place to learn those things is film school. But James Cameron didn't go to film school. He used to be a truck driver and taught himself all those things. And he went on to make the two most successful films of all time, Avatar and Titanic. There's no set path in life that delivers guaranteed results, but I will say that I learned a lot at film school and I'm glad I went. If you have the option, I'd go, but if you don't, that's certainly not the ballgame. I do have a script for Movie Math, Owen, which I write in the morning before I shoot. And luckily, I also have a prompter which I load the script into so I can read it while shooting, like I'm doing right now. But even with the prompter, since I write such long scripts for myself sometimes, it will often take 4 to 5 takes to do one of those long segments. On the whole, making Movie Math takes approximately 8 hours every Sunday. So when I got back from my vacation this week, I discovered that I missed 2 people's birthdays while I was away. Now, I don't usually do birthday shout-outs, but because this is a special episode, I'd like to wish a belated happy birthday to Adam, aka Dark Pivot Studios, and David, aka Boo. By the way, David, you have a very nice fiancé. And that's it for this week's Movie Math. Thank you everyone for your questions, and if I didn't answer your question here on the show, I will email you an answer sometime this week. As always, thanks for watching.
Subscribe, comment, rate it.